Vinny, I came to tell you about the big news that obviously happened yesterday. No more positive words could be said for how wonderful this weekend's Hall of Fame induction ceremonies were. I loved literally every single one of them. And honestly, it made my weekend. It was fantastic. And I loved hearing all these stories. I also loved all the endorsements for people to make the Hall of Fame, like Clint Murchison or Harold Jackson or Marty Schottenheimer. See, Washington Post isn't that hard to honor someone that died. But I'm not going to lie, there was no one person I wanted to see speak at this weekend than Tom Flores himself. As everyone from Oakland News Now will tell you, he has been literally one of the most requested names for the Hall of Fame of the last decade, at least the last 5 years. And why in particular Tom Flores? Why was he someone that fans really want to see? Well, for first off, you got to look at how old he is. The man's 84 years old, and if he makes in after he dies, because of the policies, his family doesn't get a ring nor a gold jacket. Yeah, they get the bus, but they don't get the full honor. They don't get the full treatment. And a lot of fans want to see that for their players, coaches, contributors, what have you. Another thing is that he is a pioneer. Now, obviously, I've talked about names that of pioneers that I want to see in Canton, like Roman Gabriel for Asians, or Charles Follis for African Americans, or numerous other names that have done a lot for diversity itself. But I wanted to see Tom Flores because this is a man that started out in the Pacific Coast League and then played in the American Football League, played there for 10 years with the Raiders, the Chiefs, and he even won a Super Bowl as a backup for the Chiefs. Then he began into assistant coaching. He won a Super Bowl as a linebackers coach under John Madden in their Super Bowl win against the Vikings. But then after John Madden retired and went into the broadcast booth, sorry, that's my dog right here. After he went into the broadcast booth, Tom Flores was the guy that took over. He would become the second ever Latino head coach. Say hi to the camera, Cody. I'm watching by him because his leg's a little acting up right now. You see, so Tom Flores became the second ever Latino head coach in NFL history, only behind also another Hall of Famer and Tom Fears. And what Tom Flores did as the Raiders head coach was win 2 Super Bowl championships. One of them would be as the first wild card team in the NFL. This does not include his time as the Chiefs as the backup, where there was no wild cards, but as an official wild card team, his Raiders was the very first one to win. And then a few years later, when the team moved from Oakland to Los Angeles, they would win their third Super Bowl all time and their second as Flores as the head coach. A wonderful, absolutely wonderful guy. And yes, I understand he had those 3 years with the Seahawks, and I can tell you right away, those 3 years that he had with the Seahawks, that was actually a big reason why he didn't make it in a little bit sooner. I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous. I'd say, so what if he had 3 bad years as a head coach of the Seahawks? So what? He was a pioneer. He was a trailblazer. He won 4 championships. The dude has also dedicated a lot of his life in the broadcasting booth, covering the Raiders for many years. The dude's been in professional football for 55 years. Give him the ultimate honor. It's about time. And of course, you're going to see, for a while, you're going to see people like, you have a lot of these voters. I'm not going to name names, but they will keep complaining how Tom Flores or Don Coryell or Buddy Parker or many others didn't make it in 2020. Instead, you had Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher. This is what I have to say to that. All you guys had the opportunity to put in Flores or Coryell or Shaughnessy or Parker or Holmgren or Reeves or many other guys for many years now, and you've punted on that opportunity every single time. So just because you were not on this committee does not mean you should go out and get butthurt because he didn't get it. You had the chance to put him in beforehand, and he still didn't make it. So Should you really be blaming them, or should you be looking at yourself in the mirror and realize, you know what? I kind of did it to themselves. I did this to them, not them. I'm just using them as a scapegoat, but they're not going to do that. And it is what it is. You can't avoid bitterness. It happens. It sucks. It's a shame, but that's what happens with a lot of these people. Again, I'm not going to name names, but whoever says that, you're being hypocritical. You're deflecting the blame, and you should look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you were also partially the reason why they waited that long. In fact, that's why I name it this title. The voters may have pushed him in there, but they weren't the reason, in my opinion, why Tom Flores made it. And no, it's not because of the Coors Light commercial either. The reason why Tom Flores made the Hall of Fame is because the fans, such as Phil Jr., and fans like over here on Zang62 Media, like Joseph, and Zenny and Eric and many others were pushing hard as hell, absolutely clamoring that this guy makes it. So many Latinos like Anthony Munoz or even Tom Fears probably also really want to see him in. Anytime, Eric. But if there's one Raiders fan out of Raiders Nation, out of all that have been asking for him to make it, and if there's one fan I got to thank for making Tom Flores' dream a reality, I got to give it to Phil Jr. Phil Jr., if you're watching this, congratulations. This is not just his honor, this is your honor. You were a guy that always saw Tom Flores as a Hall of Famer and violated him too, but Phil Jr. was the one that was leading the charge on Twitter nonstop over it for years. And I agreed, man. You convinced so many people on it. Phil Jr., you did it. You did it, buddy. This is your honor just as much as his. You fought tooth and nail when all these other people kept saying no over and over again. You were not going to let no be an answer for you. Not because you dreamed it would happen. You believed it would happen. And you grinded and pushed. No matter how many times the establishment resisted, you just kept pushing harder. You said to yourself that you're not going to get yourself tired out of these people. You know that these people won't have any ideas of their own, so you're going to make them think of these ideas. And that's exactly what you did, Phil Jr. Phil, you did this. Listen, Phil, you were the one that did this. You made this possible for Tom Flores in particular. It was you. Every single day I would get a post from you. You did not stop. You didn't. You made it happen, man. And yeah, you're right, Eric. I mean, you've done, Phil, I just can't get enough. Thank you so much for everything you have done for this man's life. If you ever get a chance to meet him again, tell him that you're partially responsible for it. You did it. But at the same time, you knew what Tom Flores meant to millions of people. I'll get to that too, Eric. You knew what he meant to millions of people. You knew what he meant to that team. You knew what he meant for Latinos everywhere. You didn't care about the Seahawks record because that's irrelevant compared to the 2 championships he won as a head coach. And with all of these people talking about championships, isn't it funny how they always use this as a way to discredit? Funny how things work, and funny how the goalposts shift just to fit their own narrative. Again, it is what it is. It happens. But you knew, all of you guys, Phil Jr. and the rest of you, you knew that you were not going to let these guys put you down. You pushed hard, wise, and aggressively. And guess what? It led you all the way here to the finish line. It took you a while. It might have been hard. It might have been painful. But guess what? In many ways, it was worth it. He was alive. He got his jacket. He got his ring. He got his speech. His bus looks amazing. And it's all because of his effort. And most importantly, the effort of all you guys watching this video that are a part of Raider Nation that helped make his dream become a reality. And yes, obviously, this is not going to be the end of Raiders making the Hall of Fame. There's many Raiders I want to see in. Back in the AFL days, I want to see guys like Dave Grayson and Art Powell or even Daryl LaMonica could be another name. Afterwards, like people in the Super Bowl era, you can mention people like, Jim Plunkett is the name that people have come to mind, or Todd Christensen, or of course, Cliff Branch, and many others. And after the Super Bowl era, Steve Wisniewski is an easy no-brainer for me, 8-time All-Pro. And even afterwards, Shane Leckler is going to be up soon. Like, there's many guys that Raiders Nation wants, and I'm very happy that of all these fan bases, you guys have been easily the most aggressive ones when it comes to their players. You know what people want to see. You know that people want to see their guys in. You know you're not going to let other people tell you. And forget just players. Don't forget contributors too. Wilfred Welkenbach, the guy that literally invented fantasy football, he was a minority owner of the Raiders, and now that's worth billions of dollars all because of him. Amy Trask, the first ever female CEO and had that position for 15 years. She should also be in. You guys know these people are worthy of the honor, and you know that these people are deserving. Keep it up, guys. You're going to get them all in. And I have faith that you're going to do every single one of these people justice that they deserve. And even if they don't make it while alive, at least try to make sure the families of those departed get the honor that they feel like they deserve as well. And that's all going to be because of you guys. Keep it up, guys. Let's get Cliff Branch, Art Powell, and Amy Trask and many others there. I trust you all the way to do it. Go out there. Do it. I believe in you all. Seriously. You made this possible for this man. Many people thought he would not make it until after he perished. But you know something? Here he is, alive, well, and accepting his gold jacket, his ring, and his bust. And that's all because of you guys. Congratulations, Raider Nation. Congratulations to everyone that has made this Hall of Fame so far. Congrats to the 2020 class and the 2021 class. I'm, of course, going to be talking about the Hall of Fame next week when they talk about the seniors and the contributors and the coaches. My prediction of what it's going to be, I personally feel like it's going to be Randy Gradishar for the seniors, Art McNally as the contributor, and either Buddy Parker or Don Coryell as the coach. In terms of like, a honorable mention, like a second place I could see Ken Riley as another player, and I can maybe see someone like Bucko Kilroy, former Eagles and, Cowboys and Patriots player and, scout. So anyway, guys, thank you again for watching this. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and notification bell for more if you want to see more videos from Zenny62 Media. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Vin, Lospinuso, Vin Lospinuso 91. Follow me on Facebook too. I'm not really active on there, but if you guys want to shoot me a follow, shoot me on a follow there. Same name. Anyway, guys, until next time, have a great one and peace. Congratulations again to Tom Flores.